Bishop Sheen today with Allan Smith here on Morning Joy, where truth matters.
Welcome back to Morning Joy, where truth matters. I'm your host, Keith Downey. And what was the relationship like with Bishop Sheen and the Blessed Virgin Mary? And what can we take away from it to build a better relationship with her as well? Well, we got Allan Smith to talk all about it. Good morning, Allan.
Hey, good morning, Keith. Always great to be here and to talk about our favorite subject. And that's about how to get to heaven. And, you know, if there's one thing I've learned, we can't get to heaven without the Blessed Virgin Mary. I mean, we need our mom. We really do. And I think this is, you know, the touchstone of Fulton Sheen, you know, in the sense that he just kind of said, you know, you need this relationship. You can try all you want, but, you know, like we do leave home. A lot of us leave home and we want our independence. We want to say, I just want to be me. But, you know, at the end of the day, where we can really be ourselves is to say, yeah, I have a mother and she's in my life. And I'm blessed, man. My mother's 90 years old. She's still alive. I see her every week. And it's a good relationship. It's good. It's healthy. And this is the thing. It's a healthy relationship. And, you know, Fulton Sheen came to this relationship with the Blessed Virgin Mary in a very organic way. He recalls how on the day of his baptism, his mother took the little babe, Fulton Sheen. Of course, they baptized the baby, but she took a moment where she went over to the statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary in the church, and she presented her son to say, "Dear mother, I give you my son. I consecrate him to you." And it's just beautiful because, and again, a mother's love to just entrust her child to the Blessed Virgin Mary. And she told him that story for many years. And so when he was a young boy, he remembered his mother saying, "Remember, on the day of your baptism, I put you in front of the statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary and said, 'Bless my son, take care of him.'" And so he had this tender devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary. And so when on his first Holy Communion, Fulton Sheen made a little pact or a little consecration to Our Lady to say, I want to, you know, shore up our relationship. I want it to be strong. And so he made this beautiful consecration to her. And again, he talked about that in his books and his memoirs. But again, when he became a bishop, there he took the time to say, I'm going to make my Episcopal motto. I'm going to have my emblem, my standard. And on that standard, he said, Da Primatur me venere, which translates that I may come to Jesus through the mother. And I think that was so true. He says, you know, we're going to come to Jesus through Mary. And again, he gave us many beautiful examples in his writings to say, I'm going to show you how. I'm going to show you how. The best book I found is that, I mean, many people say, I love his book, The World's First Love. It was a book he penned, and he said that it was his favorite book to write of his 66 books. And again, that speaks volumes. You know, he wrote 66 books, and he said, that book I wrote on the Blessed Virgin Mary, that was my favorite book to write. So you see that beautiful devotion. And, you know, he practiced what he preached. He went to Lourdes 30 times. I mean, now, if that's not Marian, I don't know. You know, that's a Marian devotion. He worked at the devotion to say, I'm going to go to Lourdes 30 times in my life, in my priesthood, to just pray, to connect with the Blessed Virgin Mary. He went to Fatima many times, you know, Marian shrines, and make those visits. And so I ask, you know, what are we doing to work on our Marian devotion? Yes, many of us pray the rosary and, you know, have our devotions that way, especially during the month of May. You know, a lot of us, this weekend we had a May crowning at the parish and it was beautiful. But what are we doing? Like, what are we doing personally to kind of shore up our relationship with the Blessed Virgin Mary? And that's a good question to ask our listeners this morning. You know, are you working on that relationship? You know, we talk about having a personal relationship with Jesus, but do we have that personal relationship with Mary? And again, we said this before on our program many times, having a personal relationship with the Blessed Virgin Mary, letting her be your life coach, all of these things. But again, to start off, Fulton Sheen came about this devotion naturally because his mother encouraged that devotion. And so, what are we doing with our children, our friends, to encourage the devotion? That's just the comment there. But Keith, I don't know what you think.
Yeah.
Again, I know you love the Blessed Virgin Mary, and we're all working on that relationship. But I think Fulton Sheen really can help us.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you were talking about consecration, it reminded me our most recent child, when we got her baptized at the parish that we are now at, we had the choice of having her consecrated to either the Sacred Heart of Jesus or the Blessed Virgin Mary. And so I was like, oh, you've given us a choice. This is a really difficult choice. But we ended up going with the Blessed Virgin Mary for our youngest. And it was really beautiful. We got to kneel right by the statue of Mary, the Blessed Virgin Mary, and then had our pastor right next to us and pray the prayer to consecrate her. It was really beautiful. This was like right after her baptism. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Speaking of consecration, there's many people that come, to me and ask me, what should I do? I know I should do something. They just know they should do something, and
Hmm.
and I always just say, well, start with just a decade of the Rosary, every day, and that's a good beginning. But work towards a consecration to Jesus through Mary. I mean,
Mm.
I love the Montfort consecration, the formula he
Yeah.
gives, and there's beautiful books, True Devotion to Mary, Total Consecration. They're all available, and it's a beautiful journey with Our Lady. You learn about her, and I don't think we really know our mothers that well. Yeah, we grew up with mom, and mom takes care of us, but do we know our mother? And doing
Mm.
the 33-day consecration to Jesus through Mary, you get to know who Mary is. You get to know who our mother is. And I think that's part of our, problem today is we don't know our mother. We don't know our parents. We love our parents. We respect them. But do we know them? And I think when we get to know our parents, this is good. This is good. You know, today we'll
Real
touch a
quick
little
question.
bit. Yeah,
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going
No,
to say,
no.
what about those out there that might be converts to the faith? Maybe they've had their own parents have some things that maybe not as positive things, but maybe things against the Virgin Mary.
Yeah. Well, I use what Dr. Scott Hahn uses. He uses the scriptures.
Mm.
Many Protestants love the Bible, very dedicated to the scriptures and its content. And he'll just open up the scriptures to that beautiful passage to say, all generations will call me blessed. And
Mm.
Dr. Scott Hahn would hold his Bible and say, now, are you going to call God a liar? You can't call God a liar. His word says all generations will call her blessed. So let's call her blessed. Let's give her the honor because the scriptures
Mm.
are pointing in that direction. And so it's that beautiful warming up. I always say, look what Jesus did. He spent 3 hours on the cross redeeming the world. He spent 3 years with his disciples, teaching, preaching, healing. But he spent 30 years with her. And in fact, he makes a real bold statement when Our Lady finds him in the temple after losing him for 3 days. He comes and says, I want to be under your care for another 18 years. He was of bar mitzvah age. He was, of course, very advanced in wisdom and knowledge, but he still went home to be with her for 18 more years to become even stronger and, greater. He's God, of course, he's great, but still, he wanted to be under her direction, her care. And I think that's what's important is not just Jesus wanted to be under her care, but the disciples did. When our blessed Lord went to heaven, he left us with her, the Blessed Virgin Mary, and she mothered the infant church. She was there with them at Pentecost. She was always with them, always teaching them about her son. And that's the thing. Mary teaches us about her son. Um, that's the key. She will teach us about her son because she knows her son. And that's what she did in the early church. She mothered the disciples, she mothered the church. And I think we forget that so many times. So let's let her mother us and teach her about her son. I think of that beautiful poem, and I think I've got a bit of time to read that. And it's that poem from Mary Dixon Thayer, Lovely Lady Dressed in Blue. And Fulton Sheen recited that. So I think this really ties in nicely. It goes like this. Lovely lady dressed in blue, teach me how to pray. God was just your little boy. Tell me what to say. Did you lift him up sometimes, gently on your knee? Did you sing to him the way mother does to me? Did you hold his hand at night? Did you ever try telling stories of the world? Oh, and did he cry? Do you really think he cares if I tell him things, little things that happen? And do the angels' wings make a noise? And can he hear me if I speak low? Does he understand me now? Tell me, for you know. Lovely lady dressed in blue, teach me how to pray. God was just your little boy, and you know the way. And again, beautiful poem that I think says it all. So we'll end on that note, Keith. But again, thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak about the Blessed Virgin Mary, Fulton Sheen's love for Our Lady, and what we can be taught by both Our Lady and good Venerable Archbishop Sheen.
Wow. Well, what's really interesting, too, is that song is on the album we are giving away in the next Guadalupe Radio Network Share-a-thon. So funny how things work out like that. But thank you so much, Allan, once again. And for those out there that want more of Allan Smith, there's a couple ways you can go about it. There's a couple websites, really. Got to visit bishopsheentoday.com or holyfacemiracle.com. Thanks again, Allan. And that does it for at least this hour of Morning Joy, where truth matters. Make sure to find and follow us on social media. Just search Morning Joy Radio or GRN online, as that is who produces this show. Coming up tomorrow, we'll be joined by the ever-amazing Julie Carrick with Notes of Truth, really to help prepare us for the weekend. And how can one day make a difference in your family and faith? Well, after the break, David Magallanes shares the big goal of men's conferences and creating a band of brothers to lean on and inspire change. For those that are not going to be able to join us for that, hey, make it a joyful day. We'll see you tomorrow. Otherwise, we're going to take a quick little coffee break and be right back for a whole another hour of truth and joy. So we'll be right back, and have a blessed day.
This has been Morning Joy, where truth matters, hosted by Keith Downey. Take some joy with you today. Visit grnonline.com/joy to listen again, share a segment, or answer the question of the day. That's grnonline.com/joy.